Right. Wow. It's very cool, man.
It's actually 20 degrees right now. It's not that cold.
Oh, is it? Okay, wrong info. That means, like, I'm not in Switzerland. Guten Tag, Mauro.
Benny, I'm impressed. Wow. And danke.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today.
No, it's really a pleasure. It's really a pleasure to be part of the show.
All right, awesome. No, I'm not sure. You are at your place in
I'm at the office, and you can see here the castle of Vaduz, where the prince lives.
Wow, it's
so
night
cool.
here. Yeah, it's night here in Kuala Lumpur, so you see only dark screens at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Mauro. Good to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's great.
Yeah. And those who are joining us, welcome. I'm here reporting from Switzerland. Actually, Liechtenstein. Do I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, Liechtenstein, yes.
Liechtenstein.
Yes.
Well, that's a mouthful for us. Can you say any Chinese words?
No, unfortunately not. Only German or English.
Really? Oh, you should come here.
But I have to learn them. Benny.
Really? Yeah, you should. Well, we always welcome you here. All right, guys, welcome to the show. We'll start in a short while, so just have a casual conversation first. It's only 8. We are still having people to come into the live session right now. So Mauro is actually joining us. So Liechtenstein is between Switzerland and Austria, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I can't find any Swiss chocolates. So I actually got a chocolate. Here's a praline from Austria.
Okay. Yeah, but definitely Swiss chocolate is better, but Austrian chocolate is also fine. It's also fine.
Yeah. Right. All right, guys. Once again, thank you for joining us. Today is Crypto Thursday, and you probably you came. This is not going to be a talk about chocolates and watches, right? It's going to be and Switzerland is actually like they call it the crypto valley now, right? In Switzerland.
Yes.
And Mauro is at the heart of the crypto valley, although it's just outside a bit. But you're actually headquartered in Switzerland, right?
Yes, and Liechtenstein is a part of the crypto valley. So without Liechtenstein, crypto valley would have a lot of problems. So it's really Switzerland and Liechtenstein together is the crypto valley.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So he's joining us from and what's the time now in
2 p.m.
2 p.m. So we are 6 hours ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so he's joining us here. So if you have any questions later for him, this is the best time to ask him, because if you really want to know what's going on in the crypto world, this is the best time and the best person to speak to, because they are the one who actually started the whole what should I call it? What you mentioned, Andrew. They were like the crypto valley. They have actually come up with a lot of legal stuff as well. Right? Crypto.
Yeah. So if anything, Switzerland, is at the forefront of crypto. Really, I mean, it was FINMA that first legitimized it and regulated the crypto industry, and they were very early in the game. And so but today's show really, I mean, it's an honor to have you on, Mauro. It's thank you for coming on. It's for our viewers. It really is to I mean, you read in the newspapers, you read in online that there's a lot of negativity or a lot of shady stuff that surrounds crypto. It's this and that, but so today's show is to highlight that crypto is real. It's here to stay, right? Obviously it is regulated. Last week, Mauro, we had so in Malaysia, so our regulator is the SC, the Securities Commission, and they recently gave 3 licenses for 3 DEXs, digital asset exchanges, to operate here in Malaysia. So they're definitely regulated under by SC. And so today we wanted to show our viewers in over in Switzerland, just to share what in Crypto Valley what the situation is like, and how how regulations taking place, just to just to shed light on this very new industry and asset class that is actually I think obviously there were a lot of scams and all that back in 2017, 2018, but is a new industry. It is a new asset class, and it's definitely here to stay. So yeah, tonight's show is just to share with our viewers what's happening over in Crypto Valley, or is it Crypto Nation?
So it's we have the Crypto Valley, that's Switzerland and Liechtenstein together, also the Italian and French speaking part, and we have the Crypto Country, which is Liechtenstein itself. So we have these two different regions that work pretty closely together, Crypto Valley and Crypto Country. I'm also a board member of the Crypto Country Association, so of the Liechtenstein crypto community. And yeah, it's really close working together, really friendly working together, because we believe in something bigger, and therefore it's a together and not an against. That's very important for me in the crypto space. It's really often working together and not being competitors, because the market is way too small at the moment to be already competitors. We have to make it big, and that only happens if we do it together.
Fantastic.
All right, awesome. So now, before we go further into the conversation, let's just do some updates. I think some of you want to look at what's happening to the crypto prices right now. So we're going to share you the 3 crypto prices that we have been sharing in the past 3 weeks. All right. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Faiz, if you could get me to my screen. So if you still remember, about 3 weeks ago when the price was about 6,004, we were expecting the price to go up to 8,000, right? But in the past 1 week, the price has actually pulled back, and today we see another rally, right? And the good thing is, I mean, for those who learn about charting and price chart analysis on our ET online campus, you should know, the price actually pulled back to a support level of the trend line and is now rebounding again. So 8,000 is still within reach, and I think it can still go there as long as Bitcoin is able to stay above 6,004. Right? That's a support level. All right. So still bullish in the short term. All right. And there's of course the first target we want to see here is about 8,000 US dollar. Right. Same thing. Most of the other cryptocurrencies are moving with the Bitcoin prices. So as usual, Ethereum has always been more volatile than BTH or BTC, right? Bitcoin. So we are seeing a very strong rebound on Ethereum as well. And the highest it went, right? This week or last week was about $174. All right. It was close to the $190, $200 that we are expecting it to go, right? So it looks like $200 is not really difficult to reach. All right. For Litecoin, Litecoin has pulled back quite aggressively. It's more aggressive than the Bitcoin and also Ethereum prices, but it's still within the support level of the Fibonacci retracement. So again, we see strong rebound here, and so that means we are still expecting to go to around $52, and it may go even higher, but we'll see again what happens next week. All right. So that's the prices, right? The 3 cryptocurrencies that we have been following. All right. So I think if you look at the chart, this is a very strong rebound, right? So again, this is not an investment advice, but there's a high chance that rebound is going to follow through and move towards the target prices that I just mentioned. All right. Now, next, for those who join us, we have actually our free access to our equities tracker platform until the 30th of April. And if you want to get an access to this platform where you are able to view the financial data for public listed companies historically and get updates moving forward, you can WhatsApp us at 603-8408-2070. All right. And in that particular WhatsApp number. When you WhatsApp us, you will also able to download quite a number of information which has got to do with investing, which may help you to make well-informed decisions, right? And in order for you to use these downloads of all this information, it is best if you look at our recordings in our previous live sessions, because this is where we explain about this list. Okay, so just watch the video and start download this list for free. Okay, and one last thing is that it's, for more than a week, about 10 days ago, we actually run a charity drive where you actually make a contribution to attend our ET Online Campus. All right, so what's ET Online Campus? Basically, ET Online Campus is where you learn about investing, using value investing methods, using fundamental data, and also chart price analysis. All right. So you can also look at there are videos in there that you can access to. There are tutorials, and there are also presentation slides, for the video tutorials. And also you also get some write-ups, right, about company, public listed companies, where you can actually read it and see how we actually apply investing principles to actually evaluate these companies. All right. So in order for you to join us, you just have to go to charity.equitiestracker.com. All right. All you need to do is to pledge a minimum of 100 ringgit to join the ET Online Campus for free, and you can also bring 3 friends. All right. So we are the money doesn't come to us, right? We are just actually helping these organizations to get more funds, and you just have to donate a minimum of 100 ringgit to any of the charity that you want to donate to, right? So the money don't come to us, but you have to keep the receipt, because we'll be asking you for the receipt when you join us in this ET Online Campus. So far we have already raised 108,000 ringgits, right? 108,000 ringgits, and that was actually our first target. We wanted to achieve about 100,000, and within 10 days we have already achieved it. Thank you so much for those who actually join us in this program. And right now we actually have a stretch target of 250,000 ringgit. Right, so hopefully that you're able to share this, right? Join us first, and then you can share this as many friends as possible, so that they can be educated, right, in terms of investing, right? And good, and at the same time do good also, right, by doing charity. Okay, and so just go to charity.equitiestracker.com. All right. So now I'm just probably gonna sit down here and enjoy my chocolate. And so I'm just gonna leave this to Andrew. All right, Andrew, you can start first.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Benny, for the update. I'm gonna start off with look, I've just maybe got a couple of slides to go through and just to do an intro. First of all, again, for those who have just joined us, today we have a very special guest. We have Mauro Casellini from all the way from let's see if I pronounce it right, Liechtenstein.
Perfect.
Awesome. Who's joined us from Liechtenstein. And if you look at his screen right behind him, that is the castle that the prince lives in. Yep, right there. So thank you for dialing in. So the time difference is about 6 hours. So we're 6 hours ahead. So it's around 2:13 p.m. over in Liechtenstein and in Switzerland. So I'm gonna share my screen. So I'm just gonna make sure I pick the right screen to share, and then if Faiz, if you can help me with the screen that I've just shared. Okay, thank you. Just gonna, oops, sorry, no. Just gonna present it. All right. Now, just to a brief geography lesson, right? So this is where Switzerland is, right? For those who don't know, Switzerland actually has 4 national languages. You've got French, German, Italian, and Romansh, I think.
Yes.
Am I right? Yes, which is a combination of.
No, it's really a standalone language. I think 35,000 people or something like that speak it still in Switzerland. It's a really old language, and it has similarities with Italian, but not really. It's really a standalone language.
Okay, okay, yeah. So 4 languages, and for those who don't know, in Singapore, 4 languages, right? So it's actually adopted the model from probably. So this is where Switzerland is. To its north, it's there's Germany. Then to its east is actually Liechtenstein there, and then Austria. To the south you have Italy, and to the west you have France, right? And then to this picture on the right here. So I think I got it wrong. So this circle should be much bigger, right? This is where Crypto Valley is, right?
It's where it comes from,
so-
definitely. That's the original point, but it grew all over Switzerland. We have a lot of blockchain companies in the French-speaking area, in the Italian-speaking area. So it's really whole Switzerland and Liechtenstein is Crypto Valley.
Is Crypto Valley now? Okay, cool. But yeah, obviously that was it started in the canton of Zug, and that was where the Crypto Valley was born, and I guess it kind of grew over time.
Exactly.
So Mauro is the CEO of Bitcoin Suisse, Liechtenstein, right? And you know he has so for those who don't know, Bitcoin Suisse is an institution, and they actually I found this right, where it's a Bitcoin Suisse crypto certificate. It's quite cool. It's a paper wallet, right? That you that will hold Bitcoin, right? And it's kind of been made to look a little bit like money or a certificate, right? And you can actually keep that to keep your Bitcoin safe. Now I think let's okay, I'm done sharing my screen. So that was all I had just to get it started. And so to start off the conversation, Mauro, perhaps you can do a little bit of an introduction of yourself, and tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into the blockchain crypto space.
Yeah, for sure, that's great. So Mauro Casellini, CEO of Bitcoin Suisse Liechtenstein, subsidiary of Bitcoin Suisse, who has their headquarters in Zug in the Crypto Valley. I originally come from Switzerland, worked at a classical cantonal bank, and after I studied business administration, I started working at Bank Frick in Liechtenstein. Bank Frick is a small privately owned bank in Liechtenstein who was already in 2013 working in the payment area. So was already modern and not a classical private bank. I joined them, pushed the payment topic, pushed fintech, and together with the CEO, I saw the opportunity of blockchain, and therefore we pushed at Bank Frick the whole blockchain topic really, really strong. So we started with research in about 2013 to 2014. And in 2015, we onboarded the first blockchain companies in Liechtenstein at Bank Frick. And that's where all started for me. So really the whole hype came. We learned a lot. We offered at Bank Frick crypto trading in 2017. We had an own storage solution and so on. Bitcoin Suisse was there also very well known in the area. And that's where why I joined after a few years at Bank Frick, after 6 years at Bank Frick, Bitcoin Suisse, to build here something bigger, to build something by myself, to build a new bank, to build Bitcoin Suisse Liechtenstein, a fully regulated bank, as a future goal in Liechtenstein, that we have access to all over Europe. The benefit of Liechtenstein compared to Switzerland is the access to the European Economic Area. With Switzerland, you are really isolated to Europe. You are not allowed to sell your services, your financial services, actively to Europe. But in Liechtenstein, to Europe, you're allowed to do that because Liechtenstein is a member of the European Economic Area, not the European Union, European Economic Area, and therefore we can passport all our services all over Europe. And that's the huge benefit. That's why we, on one side, built a bank in Switzerland that was already announced pretty big. And on the other hand, we also built a bank in Liechtenstein that we can use both places. Switzerland with really being a good banking place, an old banking place that all the people know, and really building up a fintech hub with Liechtenstein and grow out of Liechtenstein.
Fantastic. Now, Mauro, I mean, you and I obviously we've spoken before, and you actually come from a traditional banking background, right? So, at what point did you think, oh wow, this this Bitcoin, this crypto thing is big, it's going to be huge. In fact, it's going to be the financial future. At what point what was that trigger that made you decide, I need to look into this? I think this thing has legs.
It's really a funny story. So the first time I really heard about Bitcoin was 2012. A teacher in the university told me about it. I thought, wow, it's interesting, but is this a scam? Is it legit? What is it? Then we worked on it. Or I forgot it. Then I joined 𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒚, as already mentioned. And afterwards, it was really interesting for me because at 𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒚, I was working with payment and fintech, and I jumped again over Bitcoin. And I thought, payment and fintech, that's Bitcoin. And that's where I realized that Bitcoin can be the future, and Bitcoin is really something that can change the financial market completely. And the blockchain technology for sure also. And so I would say 2012 the first time, and then afterwards 2014 at 𒂂💡💄. And also there was very interesting, Niklas Nikolaisen, the CEO and founder of Bitcoin Suisse, Switzerland, was also in Liechtenstein. We met him, and he also told us what he sees behind Bitcoin, and that really showed me which opportunities there. And therefore, that's where it made click and where I knew I have to go for that road, and blockchain is the future of financial services.
Cool. Now, so for those viewers who have just joined us, so we have Mauro Casellini, the CEO of Bitcoin Suisse Liechtenstein, who's joined us tonight. Now, from what I've read from my research about Bitcoin Suisse, I recently that the 𝐊𝐨𝐩𝐢𝐻𝐸, he's the former chief economist and global head of research for Credit Suisse. He's recently joined Bitcoin Suisse on the board. Is that right?
Exactly. He is the newest announced board member. We are very proud on that. He's an amazing guy. He knows a lot. He has a huge know-how, a huge experience in the financial sector, and people like him joining a company like Bitcoin Suisse also shows what the people from the traditional financial services see behind blockchain, that they realize that it can change a lot and that it's the future. So that was really a great announcement we were able to do, and I'm really proud on that.
Yeah, and in fact, from my research, obviously, before coming on the show, I had to go and do some research about Bitcoin Suisse. I also note another like that there are many Credit Suisse senior Credit Suisse people who have gone from Credit Suisse into Bitcoin Suisse. That's quite impressive. There's a 𝐊𝐨𝐩𝐢𝐻𝐸, the former group head of compliance at Credit Suisse, and he's recently joined Bitcoin Suisse as well.
Urs Bicker, he was at Falcon, yes, and Credit Suisse, and he joined also as he's also now already. He was in the board already for a longer time, but he is now the vice chairman, so the vice president of the board. And yes, a lot of Credit Suisse seniors joined Bitcoin Suisse. It all started with Arthur Weiloyan, the CEO of Bitcoin Suisse now, and he brought in a lot of good guys he knew from his past, from his career, from over 20 years being a senior at Credit Suisse. So he knew which guys can help him to bring Bitcoin Suisse to the next level, to bring Bitcoin Suisse to be a bank, a future bank. And that's really was also one reason for me why I joined Bitcoin Suisse, because I have seen the seniority that is there at Bitcoin Suisse with this Credit Suisse and financial expert guys, and also with a lot of an amazing deep crypto tech developers. So it's really an amazing mix at Bitcoin Suisse with IT know-how, crypto know-how, blockchain know-how, and a lot of financial know-how. So it's really from all the sectors the best.
Yeah, so this is very interesting. Now, I mean, I just wanted to bring attention this to the attention of our viewers, right? That that a lot of bad press has come into mainstream media that gives crypto and Bitcoin and all that a negative kind of connotation with cryptocurrencies. But I hope as viewers listen to a banker, right, or an ex and future banker, right, that in this space, and this is in Switzerland, which is the I mean, Swiss banking. I mean, what we forgot to include in our title, we had chocolates, we had watches, right? We forgot to include Swiss banking, right, which is what Switzerland is famous for. So it is, and to come from one of the largest banks in the world, right, to join Bitcoin Suisse, these senior bankers must see something in crypto, obviously. Yeah. So Mauro, for those viewers who don't know what Crypto Valley is, or what it is, can you kind of maybe explain the history of Crypto Valley, and how it came about?
Yeah, for sure. So Crypto Valley is, as mentioned, the whole region of Switzerland and Liechtenstein, but it all started in Zug. In 2013, Niklas Nikolaisen founded Bitcoin Suisse in Zug. There was no other blockchain company out there, or only a few small ones. So no other blockchain company that was founded at that time is still existing. So it was really Niklas Nikolaisen and a few guys. And then a few months later, the Ethereum founder guys came by in Zug. So what's going on? Niklas and the guys introduced it to him. Then they met the right guys on the other side who were able to offer them office space and so on. And so one thing came to the other. So we had Bitcoin Suisse, a big broker. On the other side, we had Ethereum, one of the biggest projects in the blockchain space, especially one of the first really big ones. And that helped really to push that. So a lot of people spoke about it. A lot of benefits of Switzerland were shown outside. It's a system that is really fair, a counter that is fair, that treats all the people the same. A government will not come and take away what's yours. And that helped a lot for a lot of people from all over the world to come to Switzerland, to work there on their projects, and to work with that big community that was already there very early. And so it grew and grew and grew. And nowadays there are more than 800 companies in the blockchain space that are based in Switzerland and Liechtenstein.
That's fantastic. And for those who don't know, so the Ethereum in Crypto Valley, and it was Vitalik obviously went to Bitcoin Suisse, who helped Bitcoin Suisse, who helped Ethereum, helped Vitalik with the fundraise, right?
Yes, with a lot of things, with the fundraise, with setting up the company, with connecting him with the right guys. So yeah, Bitcoin Suisse was very, very essential with that Vitalik set foot in Switzerland.
Yeah, that's so that's probably a story that not many people know about, right? And obviously, I think was it during the height of 2017, where the height of the during the the ICO height, Bitcoin Suisse also helped facilitate quite a few ICOs, really large ones, right?
Yes, for sure. And it was really crazy times. I saw that also, especially from the outside, because I was not at Bitcoin Suisse during that time. I was still at Bank Frick. They really declined about more than 99% of all requests. It was really a lot of strange, a lot of not so good things that came in. A lot of good projects came in that were also they were not able to handle them. So really they focused on really a few really good big projects. And yeah, it was an amazing experience for Bitcoin Suisse, and Bitcoin Suisse learned a lot, and Bitcoin Suisse helped the whole community to raise the money for these ICOs, for these ICO projects that are now out there, like Tezos, like Melon Protocol, and so on.
Yeah, so that's yeah. So for those of those who have just joined us, and those who are in the crypto space, but you don't know what actually happens in the background. So essentially, in the background, you've got institutions like Bitcoin Suisse that actually helps facilitate transactions. Essentially, an investment bank, right? An advisor, an investment bank, or the role of one.
Yeah, it's you could mention it like that. These are services that are similar, but always if it comes to regulated services, as we all know, you need to have the licenses. And for example, especially if it comes to banking and investment bank and so on, you need to be a bank. And that's also, for example, one reason why Bitcoin Suisse is working on banking licenses, because we would like to go really forward on that area. We would like to offer new services in the area of security tokens, of equity tokens, of debt tokens, and for that we need to be a bank, and that's why we have applied for the banking license and why we are working on it, because we really believe in the future of the regulated financial services area in the blockchain space.
Yep. Now, Mauro, maybe you can explain to some of our viewers FINMA, which is it's the SC equivalent, right, of Switzerland, how they define tokens. There are 3 types, right?
Yeah, at the moment there are 3 types for FINMA. And these are the utility tokens. So, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum are utility tokens. Then we have payment token, now utility tokens, security tokens, security or asset tokens. These are, for example, if you would tokenize your shares or if you sell something that is not already developed. And the third area is then the payment token. So it's we have these 3 different areas based on the actual FINMA regulation that was published already in 2018, February 2018. And we look forward for some changes in that area. So we have seen that the government has looked at it, would like to change it. FINMA is looking at it. And if you, for example, look at Liechtenstein, at the financial market authorities here, so at the regulator in Liechtenstein, they treat it differently. In Liechtenstein, we have a known act that really looks at the blockchain space and how it should be treated. So they have implemented some kind of a token container model, and that's really cool, and I really like that, and it's really innovative, because they say only because you tokenize it, it should not change what it is. So if you tokenize nothing, so like Bitcoin, only a code, it stays nothing, so it's a utility. If you tokenize money, it will be money, so it will be a regulated money token. In Europe, that would be e-money. Or if you tokenize debt, it will be a debt token. If you tokenize the possibility to buy something in the future, it will be that. So they really come and say, look, the technology does not change the legal tender, the legal reason, or the idea behind it. So technology will help you to transfer it easier, but it will not change what it is. And I really like that. And for me, it's a huge change that happened there. And I hope that a lot of countries in the world will look at the Liechtenstein model and will copy it, because it helps for mass adoption, because it will change how the technology is now blocked in many countries, because they do not know what it is, they do not know how it works. But in Liechtenstein, it's really regulated, and you know exactly how to interact. The same in Switzerland. They have a different approach at the moment, but I'm sure, or we can see that they also go in the same direction to change how tokens will be regulated, in which kind of tokens.
So this act, which you just talked about, so this is the blockchain act, right? That was enacted on the 1st of January this year, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. It was implemented 1st of January 2020, but they worked on that already since 2016. And also in my last role, and also now, I was also always speaking with them. I heard what's going on. So it definitely was not only a 1-year project. They started in 2016 with working on a token economy, tokenized economy, regulated work. So it's for a long time, and that's really impressive to see that a country worked on a regulation for a tokenized economy when no one in the world, or not a lot of countries in the world, even looked at Bitcoin. So for me, impressive. A small country, 38,000 people live here, and they looked at a regulation for a tokenized economy before other countries looked at Bitcoin.
Mauro, you still there?
I'm still there, yeah. Can you still hear me?
Cool.
The picture has some problems. I can see that.
Cut out a little bit. Yeah, right. Well, so that's really interesting, because that brings me to my next question about tokenization, right? So what you've just described to me is, for example, you're just tokenizing whatever the underlying asset is, right? For example,
yeah.
So I can go and buy a 50-story building and tokenize that, right? And slice that into 1 billion tokens or 1 million tokens, and once I've tokenized that, I can then have fractionalized ownership of that building, right?
Yes, exactly. That's theoretically it would work, but the problem is, as the land registry is not on the blockchain at the moment, it does not work perfectly. So you can set up an SPV, special purpose vehicle, a company that buys that building, and then you can tokenize it. That works perfectly already now, fully regulated, 100% compliant. But if you would really like to go and say, why do we need that SPV? That does not work at the moment, but they are also working on that. It's a step-by-step approach. We cannot change the world in one day, but definitely you can tokenize a 50-store building and buy 1% or 0.01% of the building already now, based on the regulation in Liechtenstein. But that would also work based on the regulation in Switzerland, because of that security token thing.
Yes, that is now. If anything, for the viewers out there, this is almost like a glimpse into the future of what's coming. Like what's a peek into the future of there is more to come. This is just the beginning.
For sure. That's for me. That's for me definitely the point. And for me, it was amazing to see what Bitcoin is, a completely decentralized financial network. No money printing like it's happening now, but what blockchain will change, what tokenization can change. That's amazing. That really you can transfer everything way faster. You can really be much fairer, more transparent. It's the technology itself can change how we interact nowadays with assets.
Now, so Mauro, do you see that as quite a trend that's happening, not just in Switzerland and Liechtenstein, but also across Europe? Do you find that trend is slowly catching on?
Yeah, for sure. For example, we also have other countries that already regulate cryptocurrencies. For example, if you look at Germany, they are at the moment very strictly, because they treat every cryptocurrency as a financial instrument. So if you would like to trade Bitcoin or would like to sell Bitcoin, even in a small amount, it's banking regulated. It's a financial instrument. So we can see regulation is going forward. Countries are looking at it, not always for the best, but it's good that they are looking at it. They learn a lot, and I'm sure that it will happen very fast, that there will be a European-wide regulation, because the European Banking Association and the European Securities and Market Authorities are looking at cryptocurrencies, at the regulation of cryptocurrencies, the regulation of security tokens, and so on. So we will see in between the next 1 to 2 years a European-wide regulation for sure, and that's amazing, and it's a huge opportunity for Europe.
Yeah, that's actually very exciting. So Mauro, so for the man on the street right now, obviously when it comes to technology, when it comes to tokenization, when it comes to a decentralized currency like Bitcoin, where it is not just a localized thing, but it's a global thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
would it now, like with the existing regulation in place, the Blockchain Act in Liechtenstein and what's out there in Switzerland, would once, say, an underlying or an asset has been tokenized, when it comes to ownership, can someone, like out here in Malaysia, can I go and purchase 0.001% of that 50-story building, for example, or the SPV that owns that?
Really a good question, and therefore it's really essential that the country where you issue the token has a regulation. For example, in Liechtenstein, the regulation is there. Definitely, if you in Malaysia buy that token, it will all be based on Liechtenstein regulation, so it will work for you. You can buy 0.01% of that 50-store building. But the question is, does it help you? Because in your own country, it's not regulated, or it's differently regulated. So it's still not perfect. And therefore, we need, in a first step, a European-wide regulation. Then we hopefully see that Asia looks at that and does not make something completely by themselves. Then we need something in the United States, and then it will work. But definitely at the moment, it's still a dream. You definitely can buy that token that I issue that will be representing a building. But in the end, it will be very difficult for you to get what you officially own, because if there is a problem, so if I make something wrong, it will be horrible for you, because you need to come to Liechtenstein from Malaysia, and it will be based on Liechtenstein regulation. So it's really good on paper. It's amazing first step, but we need to have, in the end, a worldwide regulation that more or less makes the same, like at the moment with classical securities, where every country treats it a little bit differently, but in the end it's the same. And that needs to happen with the blockchain and the tokenization world. And as soon as that happens, we can have a mass adoption, and we can speak about changing financial markets and changing how financial markets work.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, just to expand to that question you asked earlier. So apart from Switzerland, apart from you guys, I mean, the crypto valley itself trying to be the forerunner in accepting crypto as widely accepted asset class. So you see that, I mean, you said that you wanted to have Euro to actually participate first, right? The European nation. But do you see this happening in any parts of the world out of Europe?
Yeah, it's for example, from a Swiss perspective or Liechtenstein perspective, we see a lot of things happening in Singapore and in Hong Kong. And when I also was in Singapore and in Hong Kong last year, I have seen that they are also moving very fast. There are also some, as you also mentioned now in Malaysia, with the digital asset exchanges, we see a lot of countries are working on it. What I like is that that's happening. What I do not like is that I can see sometimes completely different approaches. And that will not be perfect for the mass adoption, but it's the first step. It's perfect because the countries will test it, and in the end we will see what works. And that what works will be the case for the future, and other countries copy it, will adapt the regulation to that. So I really look forward to that. But definitely we can see a lot of movement in Asia, to be honest. The perspective from Europe is Asia is running. And as you already have done it in the past, Asia is always very fast. Europe is sometimes a little bit too regulated. And that's also happening here. They are happy to regulate everything very, very closely. And that will sometimes not help innovation, or it does not help innovation, that's for sure. And therefore, I really like the Asian approach, who is way faster sometimes.
Yeah. So Mauro, so again, building on that question, where I mean, before we talked about a 50-story building, right? But let's say it were a company that could a company issue tokens, a security token to represent shares in it, or something?
In Liechtenstein, that would perfectly work. The dematerialized share is there. You can tokenize your equity. You can tokenize your debt. You can even tokenize a mixture of debt and equity. So there are even very new models possible. For example, in Switzerland, it's at the moment waiting for a new law, very difficult because the tokenization itself would work, but the movement from A to B still needs to be officially in a written form, therefore it does not work. So we can see always in the details there are some problems that need to be changed. And for example, Liechtenstein changed that, and therefore I could tomorrow tokenize my own equity and could sell it based on traditional capital markets law. So if I would like to make a public offering, I need a prospectus, I need to go to the regulator, they need to accept it, approve it, and then based on the new act, I can sell that equity as a token. But it's traditional capital markets law, and it's a new law for the technology that says, look, we can use a token and need to look at this and that. But the equity itself, the selling of equity, if it's a share or a token, does not change. It's capital markets law.
So once you've let's say once you've tokenized it, right? And
yes.
and you have and you tokenize the equity in a company, right? So like a traditional IPO, obviously each token represent ownership in the company, right? And then let's say the company is profitable, and the company decides to then pay dividends to
Yes.
the token holders. Would the company be able to just send it through an Ethereum address, for example?
That's what I really like at the blockchain technology. That's a really good point, because with a smart contract, you can send with pressing one button the tokens, Ethereum, or for example, a stable coin. Bitcoin Suisse has a stable Swiss franc token. So we could send to every token holder, to every equity token holder, the percentage he needs to get, the amount he needs to get with pressing one button. It will be solved in 1 second. Is definitely it's wrong, but it's in not that much work compared to what it's nowadays. Nowadays, it's a lot of work working together with all the companies. It's a lot of banks have corporate actions departments that only look at things like that. In the future, with tokens and smart contracts, it's pushing one button and everyone gets what he deserves. And that's really great.
Yeah, so that's amazing, right? I mean, so if you treat tonight's show as a glimpse into the future, I mean, you've got companies that have built an entire business out of what you just said, the corporate actions part, right? You've got companies that so this becomes quite a big disruptor.
Exactly. And for example, share register also one press, because in a regulated world, you will know who is behind which address, behind who is which token holder. So you do not need a company anymore that makes your share register that costs you $1 million a year. No, you press one button and it's done. So it really can disrupt a lot of intermediaries. There will be intermediaries, and I think banks will still be there, but definitely companies who are responsible for share registers or corporate action companies, they can possibly lose a lot of business.
Yeah. So leading to that question, Mauro, I've got a question from Alex Winifred. What is the actual difference between a crypto bank and a normal bank?
So it's difficult where you really look at. So you can, as a normal bank, go in the crypto direction and offer your clients investing in cryptocurrencies, staking for them. So that's another consensus mechanisms where you get paid for using your tokens in the system or store the tokens. But it's really, for example, what we are working on at Bitcoin Suisse to be a bank, to be a crypto bank, it will be some kind of, if you look at it from the outside, it looks like a traditional bank that offers a new asset class, cryptocurrencies, but that also develops new things. So it's difficult to say from an outside where really will be the difference. But if you look at the inside, for example, Bitcoin Suisse does not plan to trade traditional securities, does not plan to give mortgage loans out there. So it will be more focused on a modern fintech business model. But in the end, based on a regulation, and because we still are depending on traditional fiat markets, It will be more or less what a normal bank is doing, but in a new way, in a modern way, in a fintech bank. It's like if you compare Revolut with a traditional bank, Revolut is something completely different, but in the end, they are the same.
Yeah, yeah. So would it be fair to say, let's say, I started mining Bitcoin, say, so for example, as a crypto bank, could I treat a crypto bank like a normal bank, but instead of placing my cash there, I give you my Bitcoin to so you hold it in custody for me.
For sure,
Yeah.
definitely. That's what Bitcoin Suisse already is doing nowadays, to hold your cryptocurrencies, to trade your cryptocurrencies, to hold your fiat. But in the future, as a bank, it will be even more regulated. And that's in the end the benefit of being a bank. You will be the most regulated kind of entity in the world. A bank, nothing is more regulated than banks in the financial market, and therefore you can trust them even more. But even nowadays, you could definitely store your 50 Bitcoin with us. We are happy to keep them for you, and we are happy to trade them for you.
That is fantastic. So I've got a question from one of the viewers that Su Yo wants to know. So when I place my Bitcoin, say with when Bitcoin Swiss becomes a bank, will I earn an interest? Will I earn an interest from the bank, from the crypto bank?
No, that's not a business model we are looking at the moment. It could be the future a case, but as we keep your crypto safe in the account in a cold storage and do not use it, we do not pay you interest. If we would pay you interest, we would definitely use the Bitcoin to make something with it. So at the moment, or definitely also for the next future plan, your crypto will never be used to trade it, to lend it to someone else. So if you have it with us, it's super safe in a cold storage, but you will not earn money out of it. But you have always to know, if you earn money with your Bitcoin in custody with someone, it's at risk. Someone needs to pay that interest, and Bitcoin does not pay interest by itself. So your Bitcoin will be used as a loan for someone else, and this guy can go bankrupt and your Bitcoin will be gone. So that's also a risk.
Yes.
Hey, Mauro, I've got a question here from YouTube, our YouTube channel. This is from Artusio Lionel. He's asking two questions, right? The first one is LI, I believe is Liechtenstein, a good place to tokenize potential Asian real estate project through a proper REIT vehicle? Two, Black Manta has tokenized a first real estate program in Germany with a BaFin regulation. So what is the point of view?
Exactly. Liechtenstein is definitely a good place for that because we have a fully regulated environment. We have, for example, also the first fully regulated alternative investment fund. That's a fully regulated fund instrument in Europe that is fully tokenized. So if you buy a fund share, you will get a token. And that's, for example, unique. So not even Germany has done that. What Black Manta has done in Germany is definitely also a really great achievement, but it would have been even easier in Liechtenstein because everything is fully regulated here. We have a law that treats it, but definitely what Black Manta has done in Germany is an amazing project, and I really like what they're doing, and I'm following them pretty close.
So from Tusio as well, he wants to know if does that mean only people in Germany can effectively buy into this program, or can anyone outside of
No, if
Germany?
it's always a question how you structure it. For example, if you structure it as a fully regulated product in Liechtenstein or also in Germany, but we speak now from Liechtenstein, with a prospectus, you can officially sell it very active in Europe. But even someone from Asia can invest in the project. You are not only allowed to sell it actively. If I would like to sell my token, also my security token, also actively in Singapore, I would need to passport my prospectus also to Singapore. So again, classical capital markets. Only the way how we distribute the share or the fund share or whatever will be done through technology, through a token, and not through a traditional thing. So everyone in the world can invest in that project, and it will be fully regulated, and it will be pretty clean and good. But the question is how I, as a seller, as a tokenizer, can advertise it in different regions. That's the question.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. So I've got a question, Mauro, and so we move a little bit away from tokenization. So I understand that in 2018, Bitcoin Suisse launched the crypto franc.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about?
Exactly, yes. The crypto franc is a stable coin based on Swiss francs. So the 𝐂𝐸𝐻𝐹, you can trade it, you can buy it, you can store it. You will not pay a negative interest. And it's really a great pilot case where we show that we can tokenize a regulated product, fully regulated in Switzerland, and it works, and it's clean, and it's proper. Special because we are not a bank, we had to tokenize it as a bond structure. So it's a security. It's in the end, it's cash in a vault, but in the end, if you buy or sell it, it will be a security token. So that we had to do that because based on the Swiss regulation in 2018, it was not possible differently. But as soon as we are a bank, we can definitely change that type of security to a method of payment and really tokenizing cash, because as a bank, you are allowed to do that.
That is cool. Where can I get some 𝐂𝐸𝐻𝐹?
There are some decentralized exchanges where you can buy it, and also on Bitfinex. So we as Bitcoin Suisse are not allowed to sell it to you because it's a security, and we are not a bank and not a securities dealer. So we are not allowed to sell it at the moment. But as soon as we are a bank, we will definitely sell it to you.
Okay, that's really interesting. Now, I think was it yesterday or day before there was an article that I read which didn't sound too good for stable coins.
Yeah, there are a lot of articles about stablecoin, always again about Libra and everything, because governments do not like some things that stablecoins would like to do. It's always the question how you build it. For example, if you in Europe set up a euro stablecoin, you can do that, and the government cannot say something against it because there is the e-money regulation. As soon as you're a bank or an e-money company, you can tokenize it, can make a stablecoin based on euros. If you do what, for example, Libra tried to do with a lot of different currencies and building a currency basket, that will not work because it's a security. So in the end, again, classical capital markets law, you need to look at what you do where in the world. And therefore, if you would like to set up a stable coin that is fully regulated all over the world, it will be a lot of work. And that's the problem. And therefore, I personally know that stable coins are necessary for a tokenized economy, but I'm also a little bit critical because they do not really bring a lot of benefit in it based on making money or being a profitable business. Otherwise, you will charge the client with a lot of fees. So I would really like to look forward to central bank digital currencies, so that the European National Bank, Swiss National Bank, Singaporean National Bank, that they issue their own stable coins based on the local currency, and it will be a future method of payment, not like nowadays cash. And in the future, we will have digital tokens.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Mauro, just to move on from that, this one almost bridges the traditional and the future, right? Can you tell us a little bit about your partnership with Amun or Amun? ETP?
Yeah, so Amun is a company in Switzerland that has set up a lot of ETPs based on Bitcoin, Tezos, a lot of other cryptocurrencies. And as being a part of the crypto valley, we worked with them together for a long time, spoke with them about different projects, and decided to issue together a product. It's also, again, to bring in mass adoption, to show the traditional regulated companies that it's something legit, that Amoon and we are doing something good. So it's there to show how it could be done. If you look at it in the end, it's structuring or bringing a token into a regulated product that can be traded through an exchange. So in the end, we make out of something completely transparent, completely peer-to-peer transferable, traditional security. So I see the need for it today and also tomorrow, but I hope that in a few years, something like that will not be necessary, because you can make a token and you can sell the token and you do not need to make an ETP anymore. That will be traded on an exchange.
Yeah. So for viewers who are not sure what an ETP is, it stands for exchange traded product. Now, what's the difference between an ETP and exchange traded product from an ETF?
So the ETP is to the ETF. It's in the end, it's the difference is in the details, but in the end, it's still huge, because exchange traded product is way more risky, because you have way more counterparties, and you depend more on the counterparties. But I'm in that topic not the expert, so I think you by yourself can even explain it better, Andrew. But yeah, for ETP ETF difference, I would need to Google it again to really explain it in detail.
Yeah. Well, look, I guess essentially it is an ET. It's like an ETF. It is listed on a traditional stock exchange, right? And this is listed on SIX, which is the Swiss stock exchange. And essentially it has a stock code, right? You can buy and sell it. It is a traditional financial instrument, and it is backed by I think it's 90% Bitcoin and 10% Ether. Yeah. So essentially you're buying a traditional asset, right? And you're protected by all the laws that come with it. But essentially it is the asset backing it is Bitcoin and Ethereum and Ether.
Exactly. And it's really there. It's not like, it's not a CFD or something like that where you only say, yeah, we buy the price or we secure the price. It's really there. It's stored in our vault. That's with all the Amoon products. That's really cool. That really, it's backed by Bitcoin. It's backed by Ethereum. It's backed by Tezos. It's not, it's true. It's existing and it's really 100% backed. And I really like that. And it's very important for me, or from my perspective, that we do it like that.
Yeah. Benny, how are we doing on time?
We cannot
I think you're on mute, Benny.
Yeah, I was munching chocolate, so I don't want to have people to hear. Anyways, yeah, we still have one or two more questions. If we have, it's already 9 p.m. Because we actually have a Mandarin session going on at 9:15 tomorrow. So normally after people finish this session, they will go to the Mandarin one. Yeah, so hopefully you can join us there to learn some Chinese.
That will be difficult for me, but I could look at beautiful faces, so that would be enough, but I would not understand the word, for sure not.
Okay, so we've got time for a couple more questions, yeah, Benny?
Yeah, probably one more question. It's already 9:05, so...
Okay. All right. So Mauro, we usually end the show with one last question for all our special guests. What keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? At the moment, nothing. I sleep perfectly well. I'm very happy, but I'll be a father in August, so very soon my new baby will keep me up at night. No, but definitely, I really believe in what's happening, and definitely, even if Bitcoin drops or whatever, it does not keep me up at night. I really look forward in a great future, even if we have with Corona at the moment a very, very crazy time. But I'm sure that blockchain will help the world to be more transparent, more fair, and change a lot of things that work nowadays how it should not work.
Yes. Hey, congratulations, by the way. I didn't know. So you're going to be a father Congratulations.
Yeah.
Welcome to
My
the club.
first one. Yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome to the club. All right. So, Mauro, thank you so much
It was a
for
pleasure.
being to come on tonight.
Thank you, Andrew and Benny. It was really a pleasure. Enjoy your evening and see you soon.
All right, thank you,
Yeah.
Mauro. Yeah, tomorrow. See you again. Hopefully to see you in Asia or Malaysia.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. We'll visit you there again, hopefully soon. We will see.
Yeah, don't forget your winter clothes when you come here.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I can see you are having a cold time. So thank you. Bye.
All right. Good night. Good night. Thanks for joining us again. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Right. Thank you so much, Mauro. Okay, Benny.
No, are we still online? Let me take this off. I'm really hot.